Hey there, how are you all? Today I'm back with another video in this tutorial, the HTML and CSS tutorial. In the first video of this tutorial, I discussed what HTML is, and right now I'm going to discuss what CSS is. So let's dive right into that. So, what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and CSS is the design of the page, the makeup of the HTML. So if you have watched my videos on my channel, if you have watched the videos on my channel, and my first playlist, which is called What is Programming, the second video right there is which language. In that video, I spoke about a bit about CSS, and in there I explained this makeup thing. So I gave an example. So what do I mean when I say CSS is the design of the page, the makeup of the HTML? If you don't know what HTML is, I'd advise to watch my previous video, which is about HTML basics, and after that, come to follow along with this video. Okay, so what do I mean by makeup of the HTML? Let's check that out. So I have a pre-written, file. Yeah, I have a pre-written file on a HTML file. So I'm going to show you guys right now. 1 second. So here it is. 1 second. Sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. Yeah. So this is a pre-written HTML file, which looks something like this. If you have watched my previous video, you will be able to write this same page without the bullet points. We're going to discuss that in an upcoming video, or in the second HTML video. So this page looks dull, doesn't it? When I add the CSS to the page, it looks something like this, which is much better looking, I guess, or I say. So that's what I mean by the makeup for the page. So what does a CSS program look like? It looks like this program right to the right of my screen, and that we're going to break down in this video. We're going to explain each line of it and why it's written that way and what does it mean. So does it have any boilerplate like HTML? Not specifically. CSS has a way of writing that we're going to discover in this video. So let's break that program. But before that, let's discuss a couple of stuff, which is with CSS, we define styles for our HTML. When saying styles, I mean colors, size, position, etc. So if you look at my page right here, at the HTML page, look at it now. The size of this first title, which is my first web page, it's small in my HTML page. In my CSS, it looks larger, right? That's made using CSS, and then the color as well. If you look, this page looks dull. It's completely white. Right here, I have green, blue, and white. And over here, the text is colored blue. The links, and over here they're colored white. If you come down, the size of no service available yet is huge right here as well, and the position of services and no service available yet they are both positioned in the center of the page, which is made using CSS as well, and we are going to discover how to do that in this video. Stay tuned. Okay, so how to add styles to our HTML. To add styles to a specific HTML element, we specify the element's name and then add curly braces. Then between the curly braces, we write our styles. Sorry, I misspelled right here. Yeah, sorry. So to add styles, we specify the element's name, which right here. Sorry, we specify the element's name. I did that. Body, and then we open curly braces. After that, we specify the property, in this case color, and then the value. You don't get it, no problem. I'm going to demonstrate that in a moment, right here in my IDE. So I'm going to explain step by step. So right now I have a new folder, new page, new file right here. Let's save it, call it new.html, save it, and then in here, let's create our boilerplate, doc type, and then the doc type is HTML, and in there let's have our first element, which is head, which is not visible if you recall from my first video. What do we have inside the title? We have the title of the web page. In this case, let's say hi, hi title, And then in there, let's have let's have our second element, which is the body element, which is everything that's visible in our web page. In there, let's have an h1. In the h1, let's say this is an h tag exclamation mark. Let's save that. Now, what does this look like? Let's discover that. Let's say new.html. We open that, and this is our web page. This should be a review. This is my title, hi, and then I have inside my body my h1 tag, which says this is an h tag. So this should be a review for the previous video. I hope you understand everything. If you don't, you can go and review the previous video. So that's our boilerplate. Now to add styles. There are 3 ways to add styles that I'm going to discuss today, and let's discover the first one that we talked about just now, which is this right here. So to do that, to add styles, we go to our head. Inside of our head, we add a style tag, looks like this, and in there we specify our styles. So let's do that. What do we style? What do we want to style? Let's style our body. Yeah. To style our body, we specify the element's name. In this case, it's body. After that, we open our curly braces. Inside of our curly braces, we'll specify our styles. So a style is a CSS property. What are CSS properties? There are many, and today we're going to discuss 6 or 7 of them. And right now, let's discover the first one, which is color. So this color property is self-explanatory. It just means what it is. It's the color. So we specify the name. This is it. We can't have a capital C. That's not a CSS property. It should be a small c. It's case sensitive. And after writing the property's name, we add a colon. After the colon, we add the value of the property. What should the value of the property be? Whatever color you like. If we set red and then a semicolon and we save, now we go refresh our Chrome, and here it is. My h1 right now, or my body, is colored red. For example, right now, if I come to my studio or to my IDE, add another h1, and this is another header. Exclamation point, save. And now we Ctrl R, refresh. Here I have another h1. But right now they're both colored. They're both colored red, aren't they? What if I want only the first one to be colored red? That's pretty simple to do as well, and we are going to discuss that right now. Just let's go on with our slides. Congrats! You just wrote your first CSS program. Indeed, color is a CSS property. To use a CSS property, you use the following syntax, which is you specify the property's name. After the property's name, you specify the property's value. So you write the property name, and then a column, and then after that you write the value, and then a column. In our case, it was the property was color, and then we had a colon, and after the colon we had a property value, which is red with a semicolon. So congrats, that was your first program, and now you know the syntax. Let's keep going. So I said that there are 3 ways to add styles on an HTML page. What are they? And let's implement them. The first of them is inline CSS, which we didn't discover yet. It's styles within a tag. The second of them is internal CSS, styles within the HTML page, which is what we just did right here. So we added the style tag. Inside of our style tag, we specified our style, and we specified our style element, the element that we want to style, opened curly braces, specified our style, and then we added our style to the element. It gets added. So that's the internal CSS, where you have style tag. But then there are two other ways, which is inline CSS, inline CSS, and external CSS. So let's discover the inline CSS to solve our issue right here, which we want only the first one to be colored. So the inline styling is very simple as well. You just go to your starting tag of the tag and add an attribute right there. What is an attribute? An attribute provides more information to a tag. So we have this h1 tag right here, and to specify the style attribute, it's just as it is. We say style, and then we say equal with quotation marks, and right there we specify our styles. So a CSS property that we discovered is color. It is right there, and then there are many colors. My IDE is providing some of them right now. Let's say chocolate, and then let's save. So that's inline styling. This is inline styling right here. You go to your starting tag of your of your element, of the element that you want to style. You specify the style attribute this way, just type style, and then the equal sign, and then quotation marks, and then you specify your style. So I just did that and saved, and let's go to my Chrome and refresh. Now, if you realize, my first h1 tag is colored chocolate, and the second is colored red. There is no need for my body to be colored, so I don't want that. But I don't want to delete these lines right here. I want to leave them because we're going to use them in a couple of moments. We might. So I don't want the Chrome to read them. I don't want my browser to read them. So I comment them. What is a comment? A comment is something that the browser does not read. How to add a comment in HTML? It's very simple. We add a tag that starts with an exclamation point, 2 slashes, and then 2 dashes, and then we add 2 dashes at the end of our comment and a closing tag. So this is our opening tag, the opening tag of a comment, exclamation mark with 2 dashes, and the closing tag of a comment is 2 dashes with a closing tag. So right now I commented this out, and here I just saved it. If I refresh my Chrome, this header right now is no more colored because my body is no more colored, and my h1 tag is still colored. So if you have realized something, when I leave this, when I uncomment this right now and save, what happens? The both h1s should become red, right? If I refresh, only one becomes. Why? Because the inline styling has an upper hand. So I said that that this style should be chocolate, therefore this became chocolate. But I said that my body should be red. Why is this not becoming red? It's because I specified this style right here. So the inline styling has an upper hand above the styles that I write over here. So if I wanted style for all my h1s, not for my whole body, because I wanted styles for my h1s, so I specified the element name, which is h1, open curly braces, in there. Sorry, what just happened? Open curly braces. In there, I specified the color, which let's have it as red. Right now, I saved that, and let's refresh. Now this is still red, and this is still chocolate. If I delete my body right here, since I don't need it anymore, I save, and I can comment it as well. So let me do that. Let me comment. I'm just doing that right now. And okay, so this is CSS, so adding comment wouldn't work. Let me just delete it. Okay, so here it is deleted, and I saved. Let me refresh. Right now it's still the same. So what did I say? I said that each h1 should be colored red. Therefore, my h1 is colored red. But when the browser was reading, it found that this specific h1 should be colored chocolate. Therefore, colored it chocolate. So if you specify CSS inside of your tag as an attribute, the browser will display that. If you don't, it will display what is inside your style tag, which is right here. Okay, and if you don't specify either of these, it will display what's inside your external CSS, which we're going to discuss right now. So external CSS is styles in another file. So how to do that? We open our IDE, create a new file, and save that. Let's call it styles.css. That's the standard name. In there, let's have our styles. So no need for this tag anymore. Just copy it, remove it, and take it out. And then I'll come here and do that. So inside, since this file is .css, therefore I don't need to have a CSS tag. By standard, it's this way. As by standard it works, so there is no need for me to specify anything. I just write my styles since it's .css. Right now, both of my files do not know each other. So if I save this right now, and let's delete this inline styling right here. Let's delete that. Save. Right now, if I save and come to my Chrome, they're black again. Why? Because there is no link between these two files. They do not know each other. How do I make them meet? Inside of my head, I specify a tag which is called link tag, and in there I specify the relationship. So what's the relationship between these files? It's a style sheet. The attribute is called rel, which is rel, equal, which means relationship. And there we specify the relationship, in this case, style sheet. Since we are my CSS and my style is a style sheet. And then I specify the link, href. So this href right here tells the browser where to look for my file, or tells my computer where to look for the styles file. So right now there is no short way to do that. So let's create a short way, because right now if I want to link them, I will have probably 20-40 characters displayed right here, and I don't want that. So I'll go to my desktop. You can go there right now, and in here I'll create a new folder. I just did that, which is called new folder. I will do that again with you guys. Let me delete this. Okay, cancel. Let me create a new folder. In here, I'll create a new folder, new folder. Let's call it HTML and CSS. Save. And now inside of my folder, what do I want? I want my files in there. So I will find them right here, new. And let me take that. So I open the file location. In here, I will take my new and take it to my CSS, to my new folder, and then I will take my styles, take it to my new folder as well. So after doing that, I will go to right now I have them both. I have both of these. Now if I open my folder, they are both in it. They are both inside this folder right here. Now what's the href? What's the relationship between those? It's a style sheet, as I said. So they are how to link them. Now they are both in the same folder. So to link them, I will how to link both of these files right now. So inside of my href, I write a dot, which takes me into my folder, and then I will have okay, so there is a problem right now, which is that my IDE thinks that this folder right here, this file right here got deleted. So what I'm going to do is get out of this place. I'm going to go to the code. I'm going to get out of the IDE. I'm going to open my code alone. So I will open my folder. So just go to the folder you just created, and then go to your HTML and say open with, and then I have my IDE of Visual Studio Code. If you don't know what an IDE is or what is Visual Studio Code, I explained that, covered that in the previous video of this tutorial, which is the second video. It's just a 10-minute video. Go and watch it right now and have your IDE. So right now I'm going opening my HTML with Visual Studio Code. Okay, 1 second. That just happened. Okay, and okay. So here I am, my HTML page, and then let me take my styles page and open it as well. How to open with, and okay, it's not accepting for me to open it with. It's not letting me to open it with whatever, with a Visual Studio Code. So let me. I just opened it right here. I'll just delete it and then create a new one. I'll delete this, and instead of my Visual Studio Code, I'll create a new one called, save it as styles.css. I'll save it inside of my desktop and then save, and there it is. Yeah, so it's inside my folder HTML and CSS. And then now, if to link them, we create our link tag. We said the relationship is style sheet, and the link, which is href, is what we said that the link, the href is so to get the link, to link them together, to make them meet, we put a point, and now after the point, a backslash, and then I specify styles.css, and now they are linked. Okay, I just have to close my link, and I close the link. Right now it should be working. If I go to my Chrome, refresh. Okay, there's a problem. Do I have any styles in my CSS? I have no styles. So what do I want to style? I want to style the h1. I specify the element's name, open curly braces. Instead of my curly braces, I specify the CSS property that we know now, which is color, and then add a colon. After the colon, I'll specify the properties value. What color do we want? Let's have blue violet, and then semicolon. Save that, and then go to my Chrome, refresh, and there's still a problem. What's the problem? Okay, I found out. Okay, new. Okay, I still have the same problem. So technically, just go to your folder, and there in your folder, sorry guys, go to your folder and open your page, and they are not linked for a reason. I have a problem right here. Didn't I specify each one to have that? And then what's going on? I'm going to select all with Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and then delete that and open a new page. Something at HTML, save it, have the same thing. Okay, so a problem happened. Let me have my doc type, and there I'll open my HTML, then head, our first element, and there I'll have my title. And let's just say title. Inside of my title, underneath my head, I'll have my body tag, which is everything that's visible in my page. And then I'll have my h1. Let's say this is an h tag exclamation point. Save. And then inside of my title, let me have a link tag, which links me to the CSS. My relationship is style sheet, or the relationship style sheet. The href to the style sheet is style CSS. Okay, does that work? I don't think that works. That does not work. 1 second. That shouldn't work. Okay, let me close the whole thing. Come under here. Something. Okay, so that works. Because they are in the same folder, since both of my files are in the same folder, my styles file and my HTML file, I will just have to write the file's name, in this case, styles.css. So that's my file, styles.css, and I linked it to my HTML, and I save. Now once I do that, go to my Chrome. Now I have my h1 displayed as blue violet color. I hope you get everything, and that was external CSS. So what are some more CSS properties? Till now we discovered only one CSS property, which is color. We discovered inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. Let's have a quick review on both on all these three. So inline CSS is where I'd create an element, for example, a p tag, and inside my p tag I have an attribute called style. And then inside my attribute, I specify my property. That's the property that we know till now, which is color. Let's have burly wood as our color. And then let's have some gibberish instead of our text, and then save. That's our p tag. And that's inline styling right there. I specify the style attribute and then the property of CSS with its value. And what was internal styling, where it was where I created the style tag inside of my head and specified my my styles right there. So I'll come create another tag, h2 tag. Inside of my h2, let me have some. This is another header and exclamation point. Save. Inside of my style, I will specify styles for each h2 in my page. So h2 curly braces, and then color, the only property we know. Let's say shaded blue, and then semicolon save. The IDE displays the color for us right here, if you can see. Okay, so let's go to my Chrome, refresh. Now I have some gibberish, which is colored wood, and then I have another header, an h2 header. That's why it's smaller than this first header, and you can see how much nicer this is. I guess they are colored. That's good. Although it's a slow process, but don't worry, we will reach. So that's inline. This is internal styling, where I open a new tag, which is the style tag inside of my head of the head element of my HTML page. In there, I specify my styles, and then internal styling or inline styling was where I specify style as an attribute to the tag. The external styling was where I create a new file, and inside of my file, I specify my styles, and then I link both of the files. Never forget to link, because if you don't link the files, you will get a blank HTML page. So a dull one. So once you link, the relationship is style sheet, and the href, which is the link, since they are in the same folder, I just write the file's name, which is styles.css in this case. Okay, so right now that's what I got displayed right here. Hope you understood these 3 ways to display styles. Let's go on to let's go to discover the next slide. So the next slide is about more CSS. What are some more CSS properties? We have many CSS properties. We have discovered color till now, and 6 more CSS properties are width, height, text align, font family, font size, and background color. So let's test these. Let's test all of these. Let's test these properties. I will open my IDE right now. Let me do that. I just did right now. Right now, inside of my IDE, let's go add some properties. So it's very simple. If I go to my internal styling right now, so when do we use these types? When do I use, if I just want to add one style, there's no need to come and add all of this tag right here. I just come and specify it inline. And then if I want to add many styles, I can come and specify it internally. And if I have more than 100 lines of styles, I can come and specify it in another file and link both of these files together. So right now, let's add some more CSS properties. To do that, it's fairly simple. We just go on doing what we did for our first. So we go. Let's go to my internal CSS. So right here for my H2, what other CSS properties are there? Let's go back to my slide. We have width, height, text align, font family, font size, and background color. So background color is used for the body most likely, and other tags of HTML that we're going to cover in the upcoming HTML video. So, but let's use background color for my body. So I will come here and create a new style in here. I'll just say body, and then open curly braces and specify background color. And then in my what is background color is self-explanatory as well. It's just the background of your page. So let's have that crimson and save. Now once I saved, I come to my Chrome, then refresh. Now my whole page is red, isn't it? That was fairly simple as well. Now these colors do not look are not viewable anymore. They're not clear anymore. So let's change them, or let's change this color right here. Let's change it from crimson to something else. What could it be? What cannot be? Yellow, for example. Let's have that blue. About that. Save. Now if I refresh, it's still not clear. Yellow. What about that? Save. Then refresh. Okay, this looks good. I'll just delete my gibberish paragraph right here, and then save. Okay, so this was the second CSS property, very simple as well. We just add the style instead of our internal styling. We specified the element's name, body, opened curly braces, specified the property's name, background color, then the property's value, which is yellow. Okay, so that was the second CSS property we discovered. Let's discover some more. What about text align? So what is text align? Text align simply means where do you want your text to be displayed. So let's go there to inside of my body. Let's because we want to align everything in the body. So text align, which is right here, and then let's have the center. Save. Now if I come back to my Chrome, refresh, you can see that both of my tags of both of my headers are in the center of the page, and the page looks much better right now, because if I look at the HTML of this page alone without this, I can imagine it's much worse. Okay, so what are some other properties? Font family. What's font family? It's simply the font. So if you don't know what font is, we can find out right here. So font definition. because I don't really know how to explain that. No, I don't mean this font. Okay, forget that. Font is just the way it's written, the way of the text. Okay, it's better if you see it. So let's do that. Let's write font family. To specify the font, we specify font family, and then open the column. And okay, so this is good right here. So why do I have two font families? That's because if one is not available, the other will appear. So I said that the font family should be Arial. But if that browser, there are many browsers out there. Some browsers do not support all the fonts. So if that specific browser does not support Arial, sans serif should be displayed. That's what I did. So we specify. I can specify only Arial, and then if someone does not have Arial, the default font will be displayed. But I just displayed. I said I want it to be sans serif if Arial is not available. So let's save and go to my Chrome, refresh. And now this, you can, I think, you understand what the font is by now because you can see how much different it is, how much different they look. So if I came here and removed it right now, see, Ctrl S, and then refresh, and now look how it looks. I guess this looks much better without the Arial. They're just showing you the property if you want to specify your own font family. So let's go check another with some other properties. Font size. So we can come to our to our code to specify font size, and then let's say large, medium, and we can specify the size with pixels as well. Let's say large for now. Save. We're going to discover what pixels are in the upcoming CSS video. Right now, let's just say large, and then refresh my Chrome, and now they are larger, aren't they? And the font family is different. Everything's different. Let's specify some other stuff. Width and height are most likely used for other properties, for other HTML tags that we're going to discover in upcoming videos. Therefore, we are not going to use them in this video. And we can actually use them for our body. So if I came and said body, if I added a width of, instead of width of, they use pixels as well, so don't worry much about what pixels are. We're going to explain what that is. And then if I said height, let's have it 100 pixels, and the width 125. Let's save, go to my Chrome. Now if I refresh, you see how they're, you don't really get it, that's no problem. So just forget about what I just added. I'm going to explain these in the upcoming video. Congrats, now you know what CSS is, and you just created a great website if you followed along. It's colored, it's there in the middle, and that's much better, already much better than on that plain HTML. Because if you want to look at what plain HTML looks like, we can come here, create a new page. The same page is what I'm going to create. I'm going to save it as else.html, and then I'm going to copy the whole thing, but I'm going to delete the CSS. So let me remove the style attribute right now. Not style attribute, style tag, and then let me remove the link that takes us there to our CSS file. Save, and then go to my Chrome, and not my Chrome. Let's open else. Here it is. Now see, let me just open this in another browser right here. Okay, guys. So let's make this smaller and this smaller. Now look at the same page, plain HTML and with CSS. I guess this page right here is much better looking, and you just wrote that and you know how to write that by now. You just did great. Congrats, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was an N&B programmer. Today we discussed CSS. Third video on my HTML and CSS tutorial. We have much more to discuss, intermediate and advanced concepts of HTML and CSS. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching. Please leave a like and a comment, and thank you all. Peace.